When Michelle visited the White House and met President Barack Obama, who greeted her with warmth and admiration, he expressed to her that he had harbored a childhood affection for her. The conversation was both lighthearted and significant, underscoring the profound influence Nichols had on individuals across various generations, including the nation's most powerful leader. Her health began to deteriorate in 2015 when she experienced a minor stroke, and in 2018 she received a diagnosis of dementia. As her health declined, legal disputes arose regarding her care. Her son, Kyle Johnson, pursued conservatorship, fearing that her longtime manager wielded excessive control. Friends, including Angelique Fawcett, advocated to ensure she was neither isolated nor mistreated. It was a challenging and sorrowful conclusion to an extraordinary life. On July 30th, 2022, Nichelle Nichols passed away in Silver City, New Mexico, at the age of 89. Her ashes were launched into deep space, a poetic and appropriate homage to the woman who made the cosmos accessible to so many. She was more than just an actress. She embodied change, bravery, and representation. Her legacy is not merely remembered, it continues to influence the stars she once aspired to reach. Nichelle Nichols' impact extends far beyond the screen. She shattered barriers, inspired countless generations, and unveiled a truth that demanded recognition. Her bravery transformed television and history. If her narrative resonated with you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and delve into more untold Hollywood stories right here. Thank you for watching. Her recruitment efforts contributed to the inclusion of individuals such as Dr. Sally Ride, Guillaume Bluford, Ronald McNair, Judith Resnick, and Charles Bolden, thereby reshaping the landscape of who could aspire to travel to space. In 2015, she even participated in a NASA mission to observe Mars and Saturn, blending her life with both fiction and reality. Her relationships with co-stars were complex. Tensions with William Shatner eventually transformed into mutual respect, while Leonard Nimoy, who portrayed Spock, was consistently kind and supportive. George Takei brought humor and warmth to the set, and DeForest Kelley, known as Dr. McCoy, was steady, gentle, and fair. These connections provided her with strength during times of isolation. Nichelle Nichols led a life rich with both achievements and sorrows. Her personal journey was characterized by emotional peaks and profound lows, yet she maintained her composure with unwavering grace and resilience. Among her most personal experiences was a brief but intense romance with the legendary singer Sammy Davis Jr. Although it was short-lived, it remained a treasured part of her life. She was married twice, first to dancer Foster Johnson, with whom she had a son, Kyle Johnson, and later to Duke Mandy. Unfortunately, both marriages ended in divorce, adding layers to her personal narrative. Tragedy struck in 1997 when her brother Thomas became one of the victims of the notorious Heaven's Gate cult mass suicide, having been involved with the group for years. His death marked a haunting moment in Nichols' life, yet she persevered. One of the most poignant moments occurred in 2012. This moment marked one of the first interracial kisses ever aired on American television. The NBC network was apprehensive about potential backlash and requested the cast to film an alternate version without the kiss. However, Shatner and Nichols stood their ground to ensure the original scene would be broadcast. Shatner deliberately sabotaged the other takes by crossing his eyes and making faces for the camera, leaving the network with no option but to air the kiss. Viewers were enthralled. While some expressed discontent, the overwhelming majority sent letters of commendation. One white man from the South admitted that, although he disapproved of interracial relationships, he could not overlook the significance of that scene. The kiss, while not romantic and scripted under alien mind control, had a profound impact, breaking down yet another barrier. Even after Star Trek concluded in 1969, Nichols maintained a strong connection to the franchise. She reprised her role as Uhura in the animated series and in 6 feature films, including Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country. She published an autobiography titled Beyond Uhura and continued her work in television, film, and voice acting. Her diverse range of appearances included roles in Futurama, Gargoyles, Batman, the animated series, and The Simpsons. However, Nichols was not just an actress. She initiated a campaign with NASA to promote diversity within the space program. For many years, fans were presented with a narrative focused on unity, progress, and inclusion. However, Nichols' final disclosures illuminated the discrimination, exclusion, and emotional challenges she faced as one of the pioneering Black women in a significant television role. What she revealed completely altered the narrative. This is not simply a story about a science fiction series. It is a tale of legacy, a fight for dignity, and the truths that remain concealed from the public until now. When Star Trek premiered in 1966, it provided audiences with a vision of a future where humanity had overcome racial divisions. A crucial figure in this groundbreaking cast was Lieutenant Uhura, played by Nichelle Nichols, composed, competent, and dignified, who was a trusted member of the bridge crew aboard the Starship Enterprise. Her character was revolutionary. She was neither a maid, a servant, nor a comedic sidekick, but instead an officer, a communicator, and a trailblazer for Black women across America. The presence of Uhura on screen was transformative, as she was among the first Black women on mainstream television whose character was not based on stereotypes. Whoopi Goldberg famously expressed her amazement upon seeing Uhura, turning to her mother and exclaiming, "You cannot leave," he stated with conviction. "You represent our vision for the future." Those words transformed her purpose and persuaded her to remain. They altered everything. She went back to Roddenberry's office and informed him of her decision to stay. He was overcome with emotion. From that point on, Nichols fully embraced her role, not merely as an actress, but as a beacon of progress. Her presence on the bridge transcended a mere job. It became a mission. In 1968, Nichols participated in one of television's most contentious and iconic moments during the Star Trek episode Plato's Stepchildren. Her character Uhura shared a kiss with Captain Kirk, portrayed by William Shatner, an examination of the legacy of the late Star Trek actress Nichelle Nichols, renowned for her portrayal of Lieutenant Uhura, who passed away at the age of 89. Prior to her passing, Nichols courageously shared her experiences, unveiling the harsh realities that transpired behind the scenes of Star Trek. For many years, fans were presented with a narrative centered on unity, progress, and inclusion. However, Nichols' final revelations brought to light the underlying discrimination, exclusion, and emotional struggles she endured as one of the pioneering Black women in a prominent television role. What she disclosed transformed the narrative entirely. This is not merely a tale about a science fiction series. It is a narrative of legacy, a struggle for dignity, and the truths that remained hidden from the world until now. When Star Trek debuted in 1966, it offered viewers a glimpse into a future where humanity had transcended racial barriers. A pivotal figure in this revolutionary cast was Lieutenant Uhura, portrayed by Nichelle Nichols, calm, capable, and dignified, who served as a trusted member of the bridge crew aboard the Starship Enterprise. Her character was groundbreaking. She was neither a maid, a servant, nor a comedic sidekick, but rather an officer, a communicator, and a pioneer for Black women throughout America. The sight of Uhura on screen was transformative, as she was among the first Black women on mainstream television whose character was not rooted in stereotypes. Whoopi Goldberg famously remarked on her astonishment upon witnessing Uhura, turning to her mother and exclaiming, "An exploration of the legacy left by the late Star Trek actress Nichelle Nichols, celebrated for her role as Lieutenant Uhura, who passed away at the age of 89. Before her death, Nichols bravely recounted her experiences, revealing the difficult truths that occurred behind the scenes of Star Trek.